Hi guys, Stanley Orr here, and I wanted to tell you something that I've been putting off for a while now because I'm afraid of the backlash, quite frankly. And some of you may have seen it in the video I posted earlier today, but for those who haven't, basically TDM will not look exactly like the show, okay? You'll notice it mainly in character design. I mean, the tech stuff has a lot of updates too. But the biggest difference will probably be character design. Irken's, for example, here you can see I made him with more detail, made him look gross looking and bug-like. I really wanted to make them creepy and alien looking. And now I know some of you are already typing complaints in the comments section, but I have to be honest, I don't care. And I know that sounds callous and cold, but I've been trying to please everyone for too long with this project, and since it's my project, it's high time I put my foot down with my own, my own view of things and make myself understand that I don't have to please everybody since this is just a fan project just for fun. Ever since the official TV movie was announced, I've been contemplating this style change, and most recently I've decided to accept it. So if you can bear with me, I can explain it more accurately why I've chosen to do this. When Invader Zim, the Doom movie, was first concocted by me in 2010, apart from being way too ambitious, obviously, it was supposed to be a finale for the show, right? This was way back before the comics or the TV movie were announced. Invader Zim was still dead and in the ground. So when I concocted TDM, it was supposed to be a finale and give the show an ending we never got. It was supposed to, be as close to the show as possible, replicate it basically. Well, unfortunately, with each bit of progress released, be it concept art or test animations or even voice actors, I've never failed to get complaints once in a while that it's not accurate enough or something's wrong or this character sounds bad or whatever. And fortunately, none of it's consistent, which means that basically they're all pretty good. But the fact is that these complaints never really bothered me because, let's face it, they're justified. I mean, it's a fan film. If TDM was trying to replicate the original show, it would not succeed 100%. In its goal of matching it as perfectly as possible to give it a finale. Well, it all came to a head simultaneously. Between the TV movie being announced and the comics and a lot of my personal life becoming interesting, to say the least. I'm not going to go into detail there. I've had stuff plague me to this day since a few years ago. And TDM was almost flat out canceled due to the stress I was experiencing and the expectations I was putting on myself for this project. I was putting way too much expectation on it to be a clone of the show, a finale, a suitable end to the show that we never got an ending for. So when the TV movie was announced, by that time I'd already recorded all the voices. So much work had been done into it. The concept art. I mean, do you have any idea the amount of sweat and hard work my concept artists put into their jobs, trying to perfect each stroke, trying to make it as accurate to the show as possible? I was there with them, so I would know because I did my share of it too, and directing them and sketch work and all that. I had a hand in a little bit of everything. It was a ton of hard work, and when the TV movie was announced, I'm going to be honest, I hit it well, but quite frankly, I was crushed when I heard that the TV movie was announced because the point of TDM was no longer there. I mean, its purpose was gone up in smoke because it was supposed to be an ending. Well, you can't have an ending if the show's continuing, and I felt a little bit of defeat when the comics came out, and I felt utterly crushed when the TV movie was announced. I tried to put on a happy face for you guys, but really, on the inside, I was devastated. Now, that feeling was a bit selfish, I will admit, and I know it made TDM redundant, obviously, giving a finale to something that's not gone or dead or anything. And that, combined with a slew of personal life stuff, which I'm not going to discuss, one after another, and basically, TDM became a big stressful thing for me. So this is my explanation for why I decided to change so much, especially in the recent months. And this is my explanation, for why you've seen it change a whole bunch from being, from me going to make it audio only to changing my mind and making it audio with text, to changing my mind to making it still images with help from everyone, to changing my mind again and making it audio only, all the fiasco with the different style changes and stuff. And then finally, an animatic is what I'm settling on for good. And it's what I'm settling on because I've already put so much work into it for the first scene. An animatic done in my own personal style that's sort of a twist on Invader Zim. So, you know, life's crazy, and I'm being honest when I say IZTDM is one of my escapes right now from some of the stress I've been experiencing. And the animation work on IZTDM is one of the things keeping me sane. Hence why I chose to bring back the animation aspect of it to give me more to do in my spare time. And even if it is limited animation, I need the distraction. So I'm not neglecting my responsibilities, just trust me on this, but I need a break too. Way back when this was all coming together, I decided if I was to continue IZTDM, I'd need to justify it to myself, you know, in order to have the motivation to continue it. And that's when I decided to stop trying to please everyone. I came to that revelation most recently, like within a month or two ago. But ever since the TV movie was announced, or the comics specifically, I was fiddling around with my own style on Invader Zim. Mostly I was inspired by Jhonen's stated desire before the comic was released, when he was giving an interview or a tweet or something. He'd said that he wanted to have different styles from different artists working on the comic to explore different artworks and different people's takes on the show. And that struck a chord with me. It really hung with me for a while. And so, in my decision now to continue IZTDM to see everyone's hard work pay off, I want to distinguish it as its own fan-made thing, you know? Now I really want to distance it from the TV movie and make sure it's obvious this is a fan-made tribute to the show, not meant to be like the show itself, you know? The voices are not going to be perfect in terms of replicating it. The story, in my opinion, could use a lot of work. I mean, looking back on the script, I'm not going to change anything, because if you keep changing things, you'll never get it done, but a lot of it's repetitive, and the jokes are kind of stiff. The animation itself will be stiff, you know, speaking of stiffness, because it's just going to be me working on it alone. You know, to heck with it. I'll do it in my own style, to make up for it, and to make it more unique and more, I guess, meaningful to me, in a way. So I decided to give in to what I've wanted to do for a while now. I put all my cards on this, and I decided to go for it. I'm going to make IZTDM a stylized animatic chock full of visual detail. Basically think a bunch of still images that are layered and sliding across the screen, and very few, if much, animation at all. I'm no longer trying to mimic the show, as you've probably picked up on by now. I'm trying to give the cast and crew a proper product for all the hard work they did on this exclusively volunteer work, you know? You know, I'm using the voices. I'm even using the concept art. I mean, in spite of the stylistic changes, I still need a reference so I can base my, you know, my twist on stuff that's already there. I mean, without the concept art, I wouldn't have anything to base it off of, from the characters that were canon to the unique ships, the unique props, the unique characters that were made up for this project. I'm using all the artwork that my concept artist made me and basing everything I do off of that. I'm still using them because I don't want it to go to waste. I don't want to have to redo everything by myself. I'm basing everything off of the artwork. And of course, I'm still doing those showcase videos because I feel like they deserve proper credit for all the hard work they did. Anyways, I know it's weird. I know not everyone will like this style I've chosen. I know there are those of you who are very disappointed. You were hoping something that looked like the show, down to each line stroke. All I can say is I'm sorry, but as the director and as the artist, I feel the need to make it my own style now, for the sake of my sanity and creativity. Anyways, I hope you guys understand. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this. Seriously, it's been a wild ride, but I think you'll like the end result. Even those of you who don't like these style changes, please, I beg you, withhold judgment until you see the first sequence. You might be pleasantly surprised with how this stuff looks when it's quote-unquote animated. Trust me, you might enjoy it. So I ask you, reserve judgment until you've seen the final product, and then trash it, of course. That's all for now, guys, though. Thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you later when I have an actual update for you.